Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question, Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Are We Old? It's the podcast where we get into nostalgia and answer the question if we're old or not. I am one half of the show, Charles McBee.
And I am Mike Finoia. How you feeling today, dude?
Good, man. I feel good, but you're bald, your fellow bald brother. You know, when you shave your head, there you go, and you start noticing things that you didn't notice before. And you're like, wait, what is that? What's going on here? What's happening here? Do I got to call my doctor? What's happening?
Yes.
It's not fun.
Obviously, and I always go cancer first. Like my brain goes, oh, you're dying.
Oh, that's it.
You're dying. But yeah, it's weird. As we get older, you get these like kind of markings and skin things and, all different stuff. Like I got this little thing over here that I thought was going to kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, why are you, did you find something you're concerned about?
That's the other thing. Well, I mean, see,
it's an old moment for sure, though.
Yeah, and that's the word concern. That's another old word. It's like, should I be concerned about? I was never concerned about anything when I was young. My arm could be wrapped around the other side of my body, and I'd be like, well, I'll walk it off. It's fine.
Rub a little dirt on it.
Yeah, and now I'm like, should I be concerned about this?
Did you when you first started shaving your head? I know you said it was early on in life, right? Like you were an early.
I got bald. I got bald fade, so it was like bald on the sides and then like low on the top. So we had what's called waves. Black guys. I'm trying to think of celebrities that have them, but like the Michael B. Jordan.
Sure.
Short is just short. But then in when it comes to your hairline in black community, hairline is as sacred as your mother's fried chicken recipe or macaroni. It's just it is like Nana's.
All right. Yeah.
Nana's prayer. It's just like it's like that. And when that starts to recede, it's game time decisions you have to make, because the saddest thing in the world is the guy, at least with black people, is the guy who tries to hang on for dear life, and now his hairline is like, it's Stephen A. Smith. Like Stephen A. Smith, if he was not a multimillionaire and famous person, it'd be like he'd be the laughing stock of his neighborhood, right? No one would go near him. They'd be like, what is going on? But because and people still talk about him, by the way.
Of course, yeah.
But because he's like Stephen A. Smith, it's like whatever. But yeah. So I notice, not only do I notice things now, but I notice that I notice things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, would I have noticed this little mark 20 years ago, 30 years, like, did I even pay attention to stuff? Or am I just hyper alert when I see something and I go, I don't think that was there before?
Do you think it's that we're just glaring into the mirror longer going, what happened to me? Like, do you think that's like, are you spending time just looking at yourself going like, when did I get this old? And then when you're staring, you go, oh, geez, what's that thing up there?
Not sometimes, but not.
I got a couple years on you though, so I do that. I just look in the mirror and I go. Now I'll tell you the thing I'm dealing with, Charles.
Yeah,
I have hair growing in places that it never grew before.
Oh, there you go.
3 places in particular that are terrifying me.
Yeah.
My ears. First of all, my ears are hairy now.
Yeah.
And I need to trim the inside of my ears and my lobes for the fuzz. I have like a dark brown fuzz growing in my ears. Then I have every now and then these rogue one-off antler antenna hairs growing out of my ears that I have to pluck with tweezers, and it hurts like hell. And then, dude, the worst of all, out of the top of my nose, I have hairs growing. So I'm getting literally like tip of my nose hairs, and I'm like, I have one woman to attract the rest of my life. Yeah, I just need my wife to still want to fuck. Yeah. So I'm just like, what do I gotta do? And I try now. When I wake up, I have to like give myself a look in the mirror to make sure I don't have a fucking pigtail coming out of like the front of my nose. So I have to pluck, trim, get rid of everything. So while I'm doing that, I'm looking around and I go, what the hell is this spot? Yeah. What is this thing? What is this turkey gizzard neck thing? Whatever. And I just am like, Jesus Christ, I got to stop looking in the mirror, But it is a thing of, right now. And also, here's an old guy issue.
Yeah.
Can somebody make a friggin' nose hair trimmer that can last more than 3 uses?
Oh, maybe.
These things suck, dude. I don't know if I'm cutting through, like, I need like a Echo or like Black & Decker or a Husqvarna. Like, I need like landscaping equipment strength to get through. I guess I have like rope or something in my nose because this shit breaks constantly, dude.
I'll tell you off air because we don't get sponsored by them yet, and I'm not giving out free advertisement. But I'll tell you the brand I use. It's a whole kit, and it gets the
it to me.
North region, whatever you need, it's got it.
Okay, but man, nose, ears, eyebrows. I mean, I trim them up, and then I'm like, at night, are there like elves putting fertilizer on my face? Like,
yeah.
Now, what is going on here? But so I spend a lot of time glancing in the mirror just to make sure I'm presentable to the one lady I'm trying to.
But that's I think that's a good thing to do. And I assume she probably does the same.
No, she's got a beard and she's got.
Well, you're into that, so that's fine.
I like that.
No, I think that's great to keep.
She does it too. She's gorgeous.
Yeah. Keep the marriage spicy. Keep the marriage hot that way. I don't have that to where I'm like whoever's with me is with me for who I am presently. It's not like I have to compete, if you will, with who I was, 5-10 years ago, where I'm just like, oh, will they still see me or this as the same person that they fell in love with? But at the same time, I am still going, hey, sometimes I'll look at, a version of myself from 5 or 10 years ago, and I go, and I'll see the difference and go, oh, I'll stop comparing myself to that. It's not that I just casually look at myself and go, what's going on? Because I make a concerted effort to maintain.
Well, you're
and
out
I
there.
do realize that I'm getting older and just like, it's whatever. But sometimes I'll go, this gut is hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Is where did this come from? Like, what's going on here? I used to could just shed this like nothing else, and now it's just like, nope, I am here to stay, and so I got to do extra shit and work extra hard, and it's stuff like that.
And I don't understand that thing of like, some folks as they get older and they age, they just go, well, it's my wife. She's with me now, the ball and chain, the this, the that, and then they just let themselves go. And then her and I don't do that, and we never have. And frankly, I don't know whether it's because like, we're on stage, dude. We do this. Yeah, these cameras do not help with aging. I mean, I can see my pores, for Christ's sake. Like, that's why I have to minimize, for all you guys watching, I'm minimize my shit. My screen's all Charles right now. I can't look at myself. I can't do it. But it's the thing of like, I don't understand those people that go, well, I'm married now, so beer belly, gross, scratchy beard, and whatever. Like, I love a beard. Like, if I grow a beard, I keep it nice and trim and maintained. You know what I mean? There's a certain thing about having just some pride in how you look and how you present yourself to other people. And you know what? I weigh less than when we met, and I was shaving my head way before I knew her. So she's had a nice, a good. I've maintained and even improved a tad, and especially mentally, I'm way better now than I was then, for sure.
Yeah.
I was a mess,
Yeah.
young comic meeting like a nurse, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Go marry a doctor. You don't want this. You do not want this. This is going to be a mess.
She's
But
like,
now they're fun.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, I know, right? She definitely has. I'll tell you about an old man conversation I had the other day. It was about sunburn versus poisoning yourself with sunscreen, and mosquito bites versus poisoning yourself wearing,
with the
bug
off
spray. Yeah, and
Can I interject real quick?
Go.
Just unlock a moment. I'm gonna get me some fairy dust sounds or something.
Unlocked. Ding.
Unlock thing. Off spray scent. I don't know if that's a childhood key lock for you, but just
I could smell it right now.
Yeah,
I can smell it right now. It kind of smells good.
Yeah, it not even kind of. It smells damn good. Like as a kid, it was very. That's a very specific. We're about to have some fun. Fun is about to be had. If you're drenched in off spray, you're about to have the time of your life.
You're about to make some s'mores, watch some fireworks. You're about to it's nighttime. Off bug spray was kid cologne.
Kid cologne.
Yeah, that was like, you're staying out. It's going to be a fun summer night.
Yep.
It might as well. Lionel Richie all night long might just come out while you spray it. Like that should have been the theme instead of it should just went all night long, all night. And the mosquitoes are fucking. Yeah, dude, I loved off bug spray. Did you ever? Now here's a real kind of fucking kid I was. Did you ever hold a lighter and off bug spray and make a blowtorch?
No, I was always, and I had friends that did that would come up. Like I've been around kids that did that. I was never that kid. I was like, you couldn't pay me to do no shit. I'll talk somebody else into doing it, lighting your farts on fire, all that kind of shit. There was a kid that used to drench his hand in rubbing alcohol and then light his hand on fire. And for like 2 seconds, I guess it wouldn't, whatever. And I don't know what I never looked into what the biology or why
it was flammable and all
flammable, but his hand wouldn't fuck. But I wasn't no parts of it. But he used to do all kind of goofy shit like that.
Well, it's because your parents loved you, and you wanted to make them proud. And
I don't know if that was it,
buddy. I will tell you what I did.
Yeah.
There's a trick that you did with your jeans. Okay.
Yeah.
Where if you press down a lighter, so if you hold a lighter and you hold down the clicky part, there's the flint and then the If you hold that down, you could hear it go.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's fluid releasing, right? So what you do is that's lighter fluid being kind of pushed out of the lighter.
Yeah.
If you hold that down and rub it on your jeans, and then light your jeans, like light the lighter, your jeans would go poof, and like a ball of flame would shoot. And we used to do that in school. In high school, we would just be sitting there in detention. This is who I was, okay? Jeans, a flannel, a Grateful Dead shirt, long hair, pack of smokes, right? Some weed in the locker, a stone bowl in my boot.
Yeah.
That was me, all right? And I would be fucking with the lighter on my pants, and then and we would try to do it when the teacher wasn't looking, but sometimes you'd get a little forest fire going on your pants.
Hilarious.
And you'd be trying to put it out, but I'm leaning back in the chair and it'd fall over and get suspended for having a lighter in school. And
right.
But those were fun days. But that was lighter fun was a big part of my life.
Yeah. Listen, I was there to witness it from a safe distance, and it was always a good time.
We'd go, here, buddy. You want to turn? And you go, no. You do it, man.
Nope. No, I do not.
You didn't succumb to peer pressure much, did you, as a kid?
You know what? Not really. I won't say I didn't. There were times that I would, and but my peer pressure moments were more so. I didn't want to be the one getting bullied in school or in class, so I would bully someone else. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Like,
Really?
not bully in the sense of like beating a kid up, but we would just joke on each other. Joke,
Sure.
and just roast each other to death. And it was a type of thing to where to get the wolves off of you, you needed to shift that energy to some other target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You need to make another sheep.
Yeah, so it's like if I'm the weakest link, who's a weaker link than me? It was that kind of thing, survival type of thing. And
Yeah.
but at a certain point, you know, I kind of grew out of that, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go at the wolves. You know, at least because I'd rather go at the people that's going at me than to shift it to some other poor schmuck, because I knew how it felt to be the poor schmuck. And so I remember the first time ever with one of the wolves. His name was they called him Smiley, and he turned around. We're in homeroom, and he turns around and launches a insult my way, like launches a joke, thinking with full confidence that everybody would just pile on and I would be like the butt of the joke for the rest of the day. And he had no idea that I had an arsenal waiting that I just never had the courage at that time. This may have been like 8th grade.
Okay.
I just didn't have the courage at that time to say, but I was stocking jokes.
Oh,
the past like year or so.
You're a bull in the pen right now.
Yeah.
And he's about to lift the gate.
Oh God. Oh, I remember the first joke that I launched at him. Mind you, they had been joking on me for the past like year or two or whatever, or at least the like 7th grade.
Who's they is Smiley and his crew?
His crew. So they were kind of hacked at this point. They were kind of running out of shit to say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Say about it. So they're just whatever launching jokes. But mind you, I had stockpiled.
You're doing your homework.
So I'm boom. And the joke was funny, but also everyone was in such shock that I had retaliated. And he had really nothing. He was in stun mode. So he launched another joke. But mind you, I had stockpiled. So I'm just boom, 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 just killing them. And then I'm going around the room and killing this person, killing that person, to the point where I became like that kid. But that
you're the alpha now.
I'm the alpha now. But to the point you originally made was that peer pressure. I liked the taste of blood. I liked what it felt like to now be the alpha.
Yeah.
And that kind of sent me on a whole nother trajectory of just like, fuck class. I need to be the kid making everybody laugh, roasting this kid, blah, blah, blah. I need to be that kid now because I like how that felt.
Your life changed that day.
It did. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the origin story. Yeah.
That's your origin story.
Yeah.
For 2 years they were ripping on you? What was it? Just were you smaller? Were you like...
What it was is... so
you don't have to get into it if you don't.
No. What it was is I was the kid that... I was a proper, good kid by all intents and purposes. I was that kid. I was taught, play well with others, like that kid. Share your toys.
The son of a preacher, man and woman.
Yeah, I'm talking about all the way from like a kid, 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just kind of kept, the golden rule, do unto others, like that whole thing. So when I carried that into school, but like I think we talked about this on another episode. When you go into middle school, now you're joining forces with
new kids.
It's
a reset. Yeah,
it's a reset. So I'm bringing all of this feel good, family tie, family matters, TGI Friday energy, and it's like, oh no,
there's kids that are coming from. Like they're microwaving hot dogs, eating by themselves, wearing their brother's hand-me-down shit or their dad's clothes. Like God knows,
the very special episodes of a sitcom where the main character would find out that the bully was like homeless or something.
Of course,
and it was like it was like
all they have them in for dinner and
right.
Yeah.
All of those kids now went to my school, right?
Yeah.
And so it was that for that 7th grade year, it was a lot of trial and error, just like shock and all of it. There was some eat lunch in the library moments. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really?
Oh yeah. It was a lot of that. So by the time it got to 8th grade, and it maybe even ninth grade was like 8th. I'd say 9th grade, because 9th grade it continued a little bit into 9th grade. 10th grade was when I came into my own and stuff like that. But that moment in homeroom was an eye-opening moment for me of just like, oh, you gotta fight back. Like you gotta, you can't let this be the quote-unquote legacy, or this can't be the character that you get cast as in this whole school life play thing. I need to be recast as something other than this.
Yeah, you rewrote your part.
I had to rewrite my part.
Good for you. That's incredible, dude. Wow.
But it came with some setbacks. My grade point average was shit.
But look at you now. You're doing great. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
That's so interesting to think about, because as you're talking about it, I'm kind of like, well, first of all, I'm picturing that snapping moment, because I think it happened once with me in elementary school. I had like a arch enemy. I don't know how or why, but there was just this kid that, like, I swear to God, the older I get, the more I think that I do believe in past lives.
Yeah.
And that, like, I, in some way, 10 lives ago, me and this kid, like, were on a battlefield in Italy somewhere in the 1300s or whatever. Like,
right.
Immediate hatred for each other. And I said something in class, and he asked the teacher, and what I said was wrong. So he turned it in my face, went, ha. And I don't like when people get in your face like that.
Yeah.
And I was never a violent kid, but I just threw a punch and I hit him right in the face, and I loved it. And I just started wailing on him.
Yeah.
And then he put a book up to protect his face. I remember it was a thick social studies book.
Yeah.
And I punched the book into his face, and that gave him a bloody nose. And two of my friends were like, get him. And I loved who I was, but I hated who I was. You know what I mean? I was like, that's a door I don't want to open. You know what I mean? There's a fire in me, and I was a very kind of, in retrospect, I was a frustrated and angry kid. I felt kind of alone in the world and whatever, But I think that when I got to middle school, the thing I was the most concerned about with fitting in and stuff was that I came from a fairly middle upper class town. Mm-hmm. But I was not. I was lower middle class at best. We moved constantly. I didn't have we had food. We had what, you know what I mean. But my parents were young, and they were figuring it out. I was figuring it out. You know what I mean. So when at middle school, I was like, ah, shit. The kids from the rich part of town are now in school with me, and I'm poor for the poor part of town, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was that whole situation where I felt like I needed to joke to win people's affection, and it was tell jokes, make people laugh, be the funny guy, be the jokester, the clown.
Yeah.
And then people won't ask you any questions, or people won't, wonder if your jeans are from Gap,
right?
Or if you're, you know what I mean, So that was terrifying. I felt like I always had something that I gotta stay on, or else everybody's gonna know that we don't have money.
Yeah.
Or something like that. You know what I mean? And everybody's getting picked up in Volvo station wagons and shit, Jeep Cherokees.
Yeah.
And my parents had the Brady Bunch station wagon, the wood panel, old shit car. Always had big Oldsmobiles and just, so I kind of
fun to ride in the back of those though.
Oh, look the wrong way was my favorite thing. Yeah, we have to have a whole conversation about that.
There's a whole nother story.
Looking the wrong way up at the lights going by was I was always escaping reality, dude.
Yeah.
No wonder I love drugs. But it's just the thing of I always felt so middle school was a very rough transitional kind of time where it was shit, all these new, it's middle school was the first college and high school was the second college, and college was like the third college.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, you had to learn how to use a locker. You had to there were times literally where I was like so nervous about things that I would forget my combination, and I'd just have to be late to class because like I had to go to my homeroom teacher, who was this like dinosaur science teacher, to like look up my combo and then teach me you got to spin it 3 times to clear it, and then once over twice, and then back once. And I'm like, damn, dude. But that you're like unlocking like that was a terrifying feeling in middle school. I got bullied a tad, but it was never anything that lasted. We would have little spats. Like we'd get into a beef with someone and it would just be kind of like over and done with. But you got hazed. We had like just ball breaky sports hazing type stuff that we dealt with. But I know a lot of kids got picked on pretty hard.
For us, it was like freaking eyes. It was like
really?
I mean HBO eyes.
Yeah. It was that bad.
It was bad in the sense of like, not in the sense of kids getting necessarily beat up. I mean, there were fights and stuff like that, and there was some like gang shit and whatnot. But the crux of it was mostly like the verbal. It was just like we were big,
mental abuse,
verbal, mental abuse. We were just big on, and in hindsight, we looked at it like it was jokes, it was roasting, it was this, that, or the third. But it really did have a big mental and emotional effect on you, because psychological effect, because it wasn't but chung jokes. It was like, how can I embarrass this person in the most brutal but clever and way. I mean, like if you look at any of the Comedy Central roasts or the Tom Brady roast, like there's an element of like, these are professional comedians, and this is a thing, and this is and everybody's
and
rich and famous, and they're millionaires.
Yeah.
But take that level of just visceral insults and put that into a high school lunch table,
or a middle school,
school lunch table, or classroom. Like that's the type of crazy just level we were on when it came to like jokes and roasting people.
And nobody you were a weird like Jesus baby if you knew, that kid is doing that because he has pain. Yeah. And he's doing it to mask his pain. Really, he hurts more than you could ever hurt. Mm-hmm. You didn't know that as a kid. You just thought, oh, I do have a stupid haircut. Yeah. Or, oh, my bike is dumb. Or, oh, my backpack is a girl's backpack. Or whatever the hell.
Or there's something about me that is unlikable, or that everyone collectively just, agrees that, this kid is...
The thing I love about this podcast so much is that it's literally like jarring shit loose in my old brain, dude. Yeah. Like I'm having a feeling right now, a visceral feeling of like when you walk into school and you're the gossip.
Yeah.
When you're like, did you break up with someone? Did you get into a fight with someone? Did you all this different shit? Like, and you walk in and you're like, oh man, like everyone's talking about me. Dude, there's like a different type of heat.
Right.
It's like a warmth on the inside of you that's like, yo, I'm getting talked about. Everyone's talking about me.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to like your one friend that like, that's when you learn like, oh, you're my actual best buddy.
Yeah.
When you would go like, are people talking about me? And they're like, yeah, what's her name's going to break up with you tomorrow or something like that. Like she likes Dave, or and you're like, oh fuck. And then the rest of the day you're just in that building. Like,
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Your whole work. We forget that there was a time where your entire universe was whatever was happening at school.
Mm-hmm. So I think that, I think the crazy part about it too, is that like, when you got to school, I remember there being like and this was something I think I learned about my character that has carried through to my adult years, was that I got to nip the bud. Like if there's an issue, or if I'm feeling something in my gut, I've always been somebody that goes like, yo, come here, let's talk.
Yeah.
And I go like, hey, is everything cool? Because I feel like something's weird. And that person will either go, well, yeah, I heard this, or you said that, or whatever. And when I was a kid, or like if a girl, like, I hear you're going to break up with me, like could be like, do it. Don't make me go home on the weekend and sit and think about it. And I'm going to try to call you and you're not going to answer and this and that. Like, and I would try so hard to just nip it in the bud, right? Which maybe was a little bit mature for my age. Because I never played the game. Yeah. I never was like a gossipy, like, oh, you tell her I'm going to break up with her. Like, right. I was like, she doesn't like me? Like, what the fuck? What'd I do, you know? And I was an emotional wreck all the time, you know? But I cannot imagine, bro, what the hell it's like for kids.
Oh, God.
With social media.
Oh, God.
We left school at school. We left school, and if someone called, and you didn't want to talk, you said, tell them I'm not home, tell them I'm sleeping, tell them whatever. Bro, you got a break.
Bro.
How the fuck, how do these kids do this shit,
man? How? Seriously, bro. Like, how? It was such that we didn't know that we had, but it was such a mental relief and escape once if you did have a bad day, or if you were going through some shit at school, that once you left, you were done with it. That was it.
Yeah.
And in summer, it was like I
don't
have to think about these fucking people for another 3 months.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Stayed away from that street if there was an issue with someone on that street.
Christmas break, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh man. God. And you know what's so funny? He's like, yeah, on a weekend, like if something went down on a Friday, and then like you had till Sunday, night, Monday morning during cereal.
Yeah.
To be okay, and then in the morning you got that little queasy, like, shit, that's right, I'm gonna fight with that person.
Yeah.
And then you went in and it was like, oh, he didn't say anything, or I didn't say anything, or she didn't say anything. It's all good and it's over. How do the kids? I don't know how kids do. This is old. I'm old.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to. This is where I'm thrilled to be old.
Beyond over the moon.
Love being old right now because I would not have been able to handle that shit. Yeah. I don't know how kids deal with cyberbullying and all that. Like that is so fucked up.
Yeah.
And imagine how fun it must be to be a bully right now.
To be a bully, because before, this is what I'll say about bullies before. At least they lived in the moment. Bullies before were like, all right, I'm gonna bully you and I'm gonna make you cry here.
Yes.
Now it's like we're to do something to somebody and then have the enough evil to upload it to the world.
The world, too. It's the world,
bro. The world, bro.
It goes from one to all with a click. There's no middle ground. You don't know anymore. Hawk to a spit on that thing.
There you go.
She's the litmus test. She is the sample study.
Yeah. Your formative years, bro. Your formative years.
No fucking way. And I'll tell you what, you had to be a good artist, too. Now you just AI make a meme, right? Oh, make Charles with a, stupid backpack.
Yeah.
I had to draw Charles with a stupid backpack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you needed to draw that. I couldn't. That's why I wasn't a bully, because I wasn't smart enough to be.
The best you could do is like, oh, here's you, a stick figure, and here's Mike, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I had big gaps in my teeth. I had big gaps in my teeth growing up, and that was a huge thing. And a girl, Lisa, called me Bubble Butt, and that pissed me off, and it stuck with me. And, like, it bothered me a lot. I went to her house and kicked the tops off all of her mom's tulips.
Hilarious.
And then put them back upside down. So she had like a nice garden, and I went and like punted all the tulip tips off and turned them upside down.
And you just drew in the dirt. Mike was here.
Yeah. Oh no. I just go. How's your mom's got a nice flower bed? Like I walked by her and mentioned it. Real mafia. I was like a 10-year-old mobster.
Yeah.
I killed the plants. And it was like putting a horse in the bed.
Right.
But yeah, dude. We got through it.
Well, I like you said, I'm glad to be. Yeah, I'm old, and I'm glad. This is one I'll take it. I'm old because that's something I would not have wanted to deal with when I was that age.
And I want to ask everybody that's listening, areweoldpodcast@gmail.com, were you a bully? Did you get bullied? Do you have kids that get bullied now? How do you deal with it? How did you deal with it? Do you have, oh my God, ready? Charles, this is where we're going to open it up to our listeners for the Are We Old confessional booth.
Yeah.
Okay? If you were a bully and you feel bad about it, let it out here. And we will keep your name out of it, but we'll share it and we'll read it on the show.
Get it off your
off your chest. Leave it here. We've all made mistakes.
Yeah. Come to the light. Yeah.
Come to the light. Did you ever stick up for a kid getting bullied, Charles?
I did. Yeah, I did. I kept, because I just had, here's the thing. It was both ways. I'm not going to make myself out to be a saint here. I did stick up for a couple kids that would get bullied. But then also there was a kid that we used to, like I said, that we used to bully. And oddly enough, so a friend of mine, we were friends all through high school. He recently, passed away a couple years ago. And the kid that we used to bully, and by bully, I'll give myself a little bit of grace. As a kid, we weren't trying to hurt him. It was just fun. We were joking, and but he was the butt of a lot of jokes. And he reached out to me after my friend had passed, and he was like, "Man, sorry to hear about so and so. You guys used to really give it to me." And he wasn't doing it in any type of snarky way. He was genuinely being like, "Oh man." And I said, "Hey man, not for nothing, I apologize for all that stuff. Like I was an insecure kid who was just trying to keep from getting bullied myself. If any of that stuff ever stuck with you, or if any of that you've ever carried with you, or if I ever hurt you in any way, I truly apologize." And I don't think he responded, and I don't know if I don't know how he took it. I don't know. But I did want to, I left that with him, and hopefully that if I did ever hurt him, hopefully that something or
good for you.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Cool that you did that.
Yeah, man.
That's cool that you did that. Yeah, it's difficult to see somebody getting. Again, we broke balls. We were huge ball breakers. But if a kid was an asshole, we kind of knew when to go all right, cut it out. And if they didn't stop, we'd step in and go enough. But there was a kid when I was in school that got, it was in one class. So he was younger than me, but most classes you had with kids in your grade.
Yeah.
But then electives, wood shop, music, metal shop, shit like that, you would be with every grade. And he was younger, and he was in my wood shop class. And a kid in my grade was picking on him, and I just couldn't, I don't like, it's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with bookers of comedy clubs.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with parents. It's people who take advantage of their size or their stature or their whatever to keep you under their thumb. Mm-hmm. I hate that shit.
Me too.
So when I see someone doing that, I can't stay. I got in trouble in the East Village because I saw one of those guys who lives on St. Mark's with the dreadlocks and the leather and stepping on his dog's back to try to get it to sit. And I grabbed the kid and was like, "Make me sit, motherfucker." I got crazy.
Yeah.
And a cop was there and was like, "Please stop it." And I'm like, anyway. So I get
this dog away.
I go get that. And they go, "Unfortunately, if we take that dog, it's probably going to be put down because there's a million dogs that we don't have enough." The dog's somehow better off with that idiot. And I'm like, oh, it drove me nuts, Charles.
Trust me.
But I saw this kid getting picked on, and there was one particular day where the kid that was bullying him took a handful of sawdust and blew it into his eyes. And I was just like, I couldn't take it, dude. I couldn't fucking take it. So I grabbed a handful of sawdust and threw it into that kid's eyes.
Yeah.
And was like, how the fuck do you like it, dude? And then we threw, and I like, you know, I got him down and I got suspended for a couple days. And I remember my parents being like, no, my kid sticking up for, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, fuck it, doesn't matter. But then I remember seeing that kid's mom. I worked at a pharmacy, and the mother of the kid that was getting bullied came up to me and was like, tears in her eyes. And she's like, I just really want to say thanks, because he's scared to death. And, you know, like, you're like helping him more than you ever could know. And I was like, wow. And I was like 16 or something. And I'm like, Jesus, like this, like, and it wasn't something that I did as like, you know, pat me on the back kind of thing. It was like, I just can't stand when you're legitimately getting bullied. There's breaking balls, and there's fucking around, and there's picking on people, and I'm guilty of all of it.
Right.
But then there's just like trolling before there was trolling, when you're just out to hurt someone.
Yeah.
And that shit, I can't walk by it. And that kid went on to, he's doing fantastic shit. I think he like went into acting and all types of fucking.
The bully?
No, the bully. God, I don't even know where the fuck he is.
The bully's killing it right now. Actually, he's
he went on to be. His name's Dana White. No, I have no idea what, you know. But the other kid, like he went on to he's doing great. And I'm not saying, you know, not because of me, but I'm just like, God, you never know how.
You don't know, man.
Some people take that shit to heart, and it's fucked up.
Yeah,
because
man.
you're a kid, dude. You don't know, and you don't know what you're going home to. Like, that was the thing that I was like, kind of. I didn't hate school because I didn't love home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I liked school sometimes better.
Yeah.
And this is the beautiful thing about Are We Old is each time we record one, it unlocks another thing to talk about. And I just wrote down a few things that, like, in an upcoming episode, we have to talk about the childhood escapes, the where we went, because I can go on and on about that, and I'd love to know what we'll have to ask the listeners to share in some shit on that too.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yo, and everyone, if you're listening to this and you want to see our pretty faces, you know, we're putting up the videos to these conversations on our Patreon. And if you join the Patreon, you get the episode full video a day early, ad-free. So head over to patreon.com/Are We Old Podcast. Follow us on the socials. Join us on YouTube. Rate, subscribe, comment. It all goes a long way. We love you. You can find my stand-up dates at MikeFinoia.com.
And you can find all my stuff on my socials at Charles McBee. You already know what to do. I'm going to do a better job of updating my dates, but I'm getting all that stuff together. So just follow me. Follow me home. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, just, you know, don't be mean, or else you're going to get beat the fuck up.
You're going to get beat up by Mike, and I'm going to roast you for getting beat up by Mike. There we go. If we would have made a great tag team, just 3 seconds, you beat him up, and then I talk shit about him. I make fun of him for getting beat up. It would have been great.
I was a lot smaller then, and my glasses would get fogged up. So
hilarious.
I wasn't good at fighting. But thank you, everybody, and stay young.
Peace.